sup? We've been having so many great ideas of things to add to Piggy. How about we take a look back at things that are already in Piggy? So why don't you show us 11 chapters explained in Piggy? From George Piggy going missing to the ultimate betrayal by Mr. P, the Piggy story has gone quite far, so we need someone to recap the whole story. Ready for Chapter 12 to finally bring it to an end. And who better to show us around than our fearless friend Sub? Chapter 1. First up, we have the most iconic map of all, the house map. The house map is the first map that ever was added to the game, and it's also the first map that you make an appearance in the Piggy universe. While there's not a lot of information to gather from Chapter 1, since it's just one cutscene, we do learn that our character is on the hunt for George Piggy after he mysteriously went missing. Many players think that this means you need to be a police officer, and if that's true, how did Sup become a police officer? He's always fooling around. Anyway, you now enter the house and begin your search for George Piggy. Until you get attacked and knocked out, that is. Then, just like any Piggy map, you're forced to run around collecting cogs and keys in order to make an escape, while being chased around by a giant Piggy. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is the station map, short for police station, of course. This map is much larger than the house map, and it's the first map where you not only need to open the wide door, but you also need to gather the fuel can after to make an escape. Just like house, we're only given one cutscene at the start, so a lot of the story is left up to guesswork. Once you arrive at the station and call out to see if anyone is there, you're able to see the police car parked outside, which means one of two things. Either you're a police officer, or you stole a police car. Sub, have you been stealing cars again? But something else way more important is introduced on this map. Can you guess what it is, Sub? What? The slime you can use to troll bacon? No! Doggy, of course! Doggy is most likely another police officer who was inside the station when you arrived, ready to get you out of there in his car. The only mystery here is why you didn't just go back out the front doors at the station and get back into your own car. Well, I suppose that wouldn't have been as scary. Chapter 3. Next up, we have the gallery map. The gallery map is the first map where we started to get a lot more game mechanics, like the missing eggs and being able to knock out Piggy by feeding Doggy. Unluckily for us, Sub, this is the last chapter with only one cutscene. The rest all have an ending cutscene too, letting us get closer and closer to uncovering the mystery of Piggy. Maybe Minitoon wanted to get a little more story-focused after seeing just how many players were excited about his game. You arrive in the same car you left the station in, but you've just run out of gas. It was your responsibility to fill up the car, Sub. With not much choice left, you and Doggy run into the gallery. Have you learned something new about Piggy in this video? Then you should subscribe! Sub is constantly making Piggy videos and sharing his knowledge about the game. And it's free! Number 4. Chapter 4 is the first outdoor map, Forest. And it's also different to all the other maps because this time, you'll have to activate a number of generators before finally breaking out of the final door and making your escape. The starting cutscene tells us all about how the player and Doggy have been hiding away from the infection for 4 weeks, until everything goes black, and we can hear the noise of the glass bottle smashing. Doggy's been infected, but who made him drink the potion? And where are they now? Once you've escaped the forest on your own, running from Piggy and Doggy, you'll find a walkie-talkie left on the ground, with none other than Mr. P on the other side. The only mystery is how the walkie-talkie got there in the first place. Number 5. The school map is quite complicated for even the best of Piggy players. Not only do you need to rescue Bunny using the new mechanic of placing the book in the bookshelf, but you also need to make the final escape for yourself in the sewers. You arrive at the school after following the instructions of the mysterious man on the other side of the walkie-talkie, who we now know to be Mr. P. Once you arrive, he tells you about his friend Bunny, who's been trapped in the school by the evil teacher Piggy. Once you've rescued Bunny and made your escape out the final door in the basement, you meet Mr. P for the very first time, and not aware yet of his evil plans of abandoning you, or that he might have even created the infection. Hey, are you enjoying this Piggy story recap? Make sure to like the video, and sub will know to make even more Piggy videos with all the tips and tricks he can find. Chapter 6. Next up, we have the hospital map. In this map, you'll need to use key cards instead of keys to make an escape, since it's a high-tech building after all. Plus, you'll need your potion-making skills at the ready, because you'll need to create 2 potions before you make an escape. I think that sounds kinda complicated, sub, but I'm gonna leave it up to you. You arrive at the hospital with Bunny and no sign of Mr. P. Bunny tells you all about how you passed out, but leaves out how long you've been out for. What you do know is that Barry has become infected and is chasing you all around the hospital as you try to make your escape. Once you finally make an escape, you run upstairs to the helipad where Mr. P should have been waiting for you. Instead, he's been flown away by himself and abandoned you. How selfish! And so you begin on the quest, the search for Mr. P. Chapter 7. All aboard, sub! We're on the Metro map. The Metro map has a ton of different twists and turns that are sure to confuse a new Piggy player. And it's even got a brand new mechanic, such as the vending machine. After escaping the hospital and Mr. P abandoning you, you make your getaway using the Metro system. All is going well until Bunny reveals to you that she's not feeling too well. Maybe she's been infected with the Piggy infection. With Bunny feeling ill on the ground, it's up to you to escape Zompiggy and activate the Metro train. Unfortunately, this means leaving Bunny at the station, never to be seen again. Chapter 8. Where better to search for Mr. P than in his very own theme park? I mean, the place is called Potato City. Mr. P is sure to be here. This park features different mechanics such as a roller coaster, water pistol, and even a brand new NPC, Foxy. Once you've finally escaped and gotten away from Clowny and Foxy, you run into the secret last room, expecting to confront Mr. P, only to find Pony and Zizzy instead, where they offer to lead you to their safe place so you can meet up with other survivors. Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is the city. It features 2 giant skyscrapers as well as 2 piggies. Not only is there normal Piggy chasing you around, but also Grandmother. Double trouble. This is your favorite map too, right, sub? Because you get to use the dynamite to explode the entrance to the poutine. Pony and Zizzy lead you here so they can bring you to the safe place. But the entrance is blocked off, and you have to find a way to get to it. But you're not alone. Ellie and Grandmother are trying to catch you the entire time. In the final cutscene of the city map, it's revealed that you are in fact a police officer. You, Pony, and Zizzy are about to make your way to the safe place until you notice a shady figure moving around in the distance, and you decide to follow it. Chapter 10. Chapter 10 is where things begin to get exciting, sub. The shady figure leads you all the way to the abandoned mall. The mall has brand new features, such as the arcade machine, the sensors, and Mousy crawling around in the vents. After making your escape from the mall, you enter one final lockdown room where the shady figure from before is hiding. And it's none other than George Piggy, the one who started this entire story. He tells you about how his entire family left him, and they started acting strange, so he was left no choice but to run away. With George Piggy also wanting to find Mr. P, you bring him to the safe space and continue your hunt for Mr. P so you can bring him down. Chapter 11. The final chapter released so far is the Outpost map. The Outpost map features tons of secret notes and hidden clues for you to uncover, as well as brand new gameplay mechanics like the tank. You reach the Outpost after following Mr. P's helicopter signal. He's sure to be here this time. Once you arrive, it's clear it won't be easy to get out. With undead soldiers popping up left and right, you'll need to watch your step too. And after finally escaping the map, it turns out George Piggy has followed you all the way to the Outpost and wants to confront Mr. P with you. Reluctantly, you let him join you as you make your way into the final room of the Outpost, where you finally see him. Mr. P can't believe what he's seeing. He thought he infected every human on Earth, and it seems like he's truly sorry. But I'm not too sure we can trust him, sub, especially after he abandoned you on the hospital map. What do you think will be in Chapter 12? Let us know in the comments. Maybe it could even be a giant boss battle, or maybe there's a happy ending after all. If you've got ideas, we want to hear about them. Number 12. Bonus Chapter. While the distorted memory map doesn't fit into the regular Piggy story, it still has plenty of brand new clues and secrets for us to uncover. The distorted memory map is a nightmare version of the normal house map, with holes in the walls and the basement opening up brand new entire rooms. This map opens up with George Piggy waking up from a nightmare, crying out for Penny, which means he must have been dreaming of before the infection had taken over everyone. Once you've escaped the map, George Piggy thinks he can see Penny in the distance. But instead, it's Piggy. As she runs off, George thinks he's becoming infected until he wakes up in the mall, where we first found him. While there may not be a whole lot of story to learn from this map, since it's just a nightmare, it does tell us about how things began.